on this edition of Lifeguard.
What do we got? Okay. 1 minute CPR right now. 1 minute CPR. A lot of foam coming out of this patient's mouth. Clearly, they were underwater for some time.
And a lost little girl leaves a mother in hysterics.
Please, find my baby.
Plus,
He's 39 years old. He's complaining of nausea, a headache, dizziness, blurred vision. He had a pulse of over 100.
and later,
Were you smoking dope?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you were, but you weren't?
Yeah.
100% him, huh?
the Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline,
It's just really us versus nature.
and nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, 3, 4. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are going to happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. This is Huntington Beach, AKA Surf City, USA. Each year, during the summer months, this coastal capital plays host to over 11 million tourists, many of whom have never been to the Pacific Ocean. Here, public safety rests in the hands of lifeguards.
Right now, we have an increasing swell out of the south-southwest. It's about 3 to 6 feet. We have a really strong side current going from the south to the north. There's not a breath of wind in the air right now, so it's very hot. The water's warm, it's in the 70s. The air temperature we're expecting in the low 80s today. Humidity's well in excess of 40% right now, so it's really hot. We expect a lot of people in the water today, so today we'll be busy undoubtedly.
Marine Safety Officer Mike Bartlett is patrolling south of the pier when a call comes in.
Surfer down outside break off Tower 20. The guard signaling code 3.
The victim is at the far northern point of Huntington Beach. Surrounded by rocks, it is only accessible during low tide.
We were at Tower 11 when we overheard the 1 unit north of the pier responding to a report of 2 surfers that looked like they needed help out on the outside break at Tower 20. Code 3, guys. 10 copy. Tell the guy in the back to hold on real tight.
A surfer has been found 300 yards offshore, submerged under his board.
Person's unconscious. The supervisor's in the water with 2 tower guards, so we don't know what's going on. Could be medical, we don't know what it is, but this could be life-threatening.
Engine 45, this will be an unconscious person at the water line. Our units are busy. They'll need your assistance at the water line.
This is pretty far north to Golden West Street. We're almost on scene now. This is at the base of the cliffs between, looks like 24 and 22.
Jason Cloud is the first lifeguard to reach and assist the victim.
I found a approximately 30-year-old male, unconscious, not breathing, floating on top of a bystander surfboard. I took out my pocket mask. I gave 2 rescue breaths, then proceeded to try to do compressions. With the sea state the way it was, I determined CPR would be ineffective in the water, and the best chance to save this person's life was to get him ashore as quickly as possible.
20 is now 1097. We have guards in the shore break pulling somebody up on a paddleboard. Still need code 3 backup and need somebody to pick up the medics at Golden West Street. I'll be 954 at the water line. What do we got? Okay. All right. AED. Unconscious. High and dry. Okay. All right. 1 minute CPR right now. 1 minute CPR. I need a towel. Give me a towel, please, or a blanket.
The victim is unresponsive, not breathing, and pulseless. Lifeguard Mike Bartlett assumes command and initiates emergency protocol.
1 minute CPR. Okay.
Go in, open his teeth. Hold his nose, wipe his chest off.
Grab the resuscitator, please. Keep going. I'll do 1 minute. How long was he down for?
Oh, for at least 5 or 10.
Okay.
10 minutes since we got him out of the water.
Get the resuscitator out.
Back up. Back up. That's 26, 27, 29, good breath.
Okay, let's go to the AED now. Priorities, number one, you got to do a cycle of CPR, get a minute or 2 minutes of CPR going. Gives us time to set the AED up.
The AED machine is an automated external defibrillator. If the patient's heartbeat is irregular, the machine will send out an electrical pulse to try to stabilize it. If there is no heartbeat, they must continue with CPR until one has registered.
Don't touch the patient, move away. Set up the resuscitator, grab the bag valve mask out.
No shock advised.
Get the AED up, got analysis on that. No shock was advised, which means there was no cardiac rhythm detected by the AED machine. Continue CPR. Continue CPR.
CPR can temporarily restore some of the blood flow to the heart and brain. Lifeguard Cloud delivers chest compressions, while Lifeguard Clay Arnold assists with resuscitation.
Once we got him to the ground, training was obviously instinctive, and people just jumped to the roles perfectly.
A lot of foam coming out of this patient's mouth.
Bartlett begins administering oxygen, but now 2 minutes in, lifeguards are still unable to find a pulse.
9:30.
I want to get a stiff neck on him too. Somebody get a stiff neck bag, okay?
Okay, CPR.
Okay, thank you. Give me a count, give me a count.
30.
We follow the AED commands for 2 minutes of CPR, and the AED is gonna start talking here, okay? Clearly, they were underwater for some time, probably several minutes. Anytime you have somebody that's unconscious in the water, you have to assume that there might be a spinal cord injury. We don't know what happened.
Paramedics climb down the rocky hill and begin working alongside lifeguards.
Yeah, he was out there about 5-10 minutes.
We've been doing about 3 or 4 minutes of CPR now.
Did that advice for the shocks?
Negative.
Keep going on.
Okay, keep going.
The victim still has no pulse. Paramedics hook the surfer to an IV bag and begin administering strong doses of epinephrine, a drug designed to stimulate the heart. Rescuers continue to suction fluid from the victim's lungs.
I need a stiff neck, stiff neck. Any family or friends around here of the victim? Anybody know the victim?
Phil. Yeah, lots and lots of salt water.
We got a lot of water in this.
You guys have a backboard?
Yes, we do. Okay, you take over airway. Okay.
As paramedics continue to work, their ambulance operator coordinates a rendezvous with Bartlett.
Number on the truck down below is 5211. Who is he?
Right here. What do you need? What do you need?
Our units are phased to go north. Can you bring them down that way?
Negative. We have to go south. The tide's too high north.
Copy that.
Okay, why don't you come over here? We're going to set up and get ready for the patient transport here on the backboard. He was on the outside brake when they got to him. I'm not sure how long he was down for. A lot of water in the mouth and the airway there. Yep. We're ready here on the backboard. You guys make the call.
What you got going, Phil? I got drugs. I'm writing it down. Okay, cool. And you got a tube? Yeah, tube's good. 7.5. 7.5. Okay. All right.
Guide the head there, medic. Let us know when you're ready.
Go on your count, Brian.
Okay, somebody have to get the leg here, okay?
After several minutes, a first positive sign. They've cleared the patient's lungs, but must continue CPR.
Okay, you got the backboard. Your call on 3.
Okay, stop compressions. Ready?
You roll. On. Continue CPR there. Okay. Jason, I'm gonna drive. We hop in the rig. We're gonna put somebody else in the back, okay?
Okay, we're gonna hold CPR just as long as it takes to get in the truck.
Don't trip on anything. Let's go. Feet first. Move that strap out of the way. Okay. Move that backpack, throw it to the front seat. Okay. Move that fin, move the fin. Hey, somebody start CPR. You make the call when you want me to start moving the truck.
You guys, you have pulse. Okay, we got pulses?
We got pulse.
All right, so you got continue ventilation.
I'm gonna come back for the equipment. Why don't you go ahead and stay here and start organizing it all. You do have those calls where life is on the line. That doesn't happen every day, but if you work 25 years as a lifeguard, you're gonna see that. Holler when you guys are ready to roll back here. We had a very, very challenging rescue to get them on shore and then medical aid on top of that. We're rolling. By the time the patient was in the ambulance, there was a pulse. That was a good sign. It's 2:20 is 10:49. The medics at Golden West Street, we're on the way now.
At Mission Beach, an evening breeze begins sending beachgoers packing. Lifeguard Kolo Rosenthal is patrolling the sand when he notices a frantic couple running between the towers.
Oh, please, she has a life jacket on, a yellow life jacket. Julia Barrett.
We showed up on scene at Tower 16. The mom came up, kind of pretty scared actually, that her daughter was missing.
Oh, please help me.
This happens all day long, okay? I promise you.
Oh, you gotta find her.
How old?
She's 6.
What's she wearing?
She's a...
What's she wearing?
It's a multicolored bathing suit.
One piece?
Yes. And it's a... What?
What's your name now? Amy? Amy, I promise you.
Please, find my baby.
Amy, I promise you we're gonna find her.
I don't...
One piece, does she have a boogie board?
Yes.
What color is her boogie
I
board?
don't...
Okay.
Multicolored. It's like rainbow. We just bought it.
Some parents take it really well and are really calm, and others kind of, you know, it's probably the scariest moment of their life.
We had her in the water.
At 16? So did he lose?
No, she said that she was going to come back to me to go play in the sandcastles. I was with her brother over here.
Okay, where? Can you just tell me where?
Right, the black umbrella.
Okay. For us, we handle it quite often throughout the day. I mean, today we probably had at least 10 missing kids, and we're pretty good at handling it. We try to just calm the mom down as best we can and assure her that you know, nobody's missing in the water, and that this happens all the time, and we've never not found the child.
Oh my God, we just came for the day.
Okay, she's gonna be okay.
Please.
Where was she last seen, lady?
He was with her, and I came
Right here?
because I didn't see her. He said that
How's her swimming ability, Amy?
She can swim, but not that good.
Can she go in the
She
water?
has a life jacket.
She has a life jacket too?
She does have a life jacket on. It's yellow.
Okay.
Damn it! What if somebody took her?
Hang on one second.
Kolo triggers the search.
23 Mission, clear to copy for the MJ info.
Copy.
We're looking for Julia. She's 6 years old with blonde hair. She had a life jacket on, multi-colored one piece with a boogie board. She was last seen at about 15 3/4, about 5 minutes ago, mid-sand.
Star 15 clear.
B15, if you could help me cross-check that area directly in my glare.
And we'll make a couple PAs from this side.
Copy.
All lifeguards between Tower 13 and Tower 20 scan the sand.
Please find my baby, please. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Please save her.
Happens all the time.
Mission 23, I think we have a match at Tower 15.
She's mid-sand. She's heading north.
She's gonna go see if that's her, okay?
Julia has been found.
Apparently she just walked past our site. She walked a little bit too far and just kept on walking because she didn't see us. And of course I feared the worst. There's a lot of people out here. There's crazy people. There's that big ocean. There's a lot of things that are waiting to take them. And I just panicked. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even think. It was my whole world flashing before my eyes.
23 explanation, we're clear on Julia.
It feels great to be able to, you know, be there and have some moral support for the victim. Sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's gone, I think. And, you know, to see when you lose your child and then to have them come back together and just the love that families have for each other, it's a wonderful thing.
A San Diego heat wave has temperatures hovering in the mid-90s. Tourists and locals have flocked to La Jolla shores to cool off in the ocean.
The water is 72 degrees, and if it gets any hotter, I'm just gonna swim out and supervise this beach from out in the water.
Lifeguards know higher temperatures bring health risks.
Dehydration, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, these are all big risks, and they're all things that we see a lot when these heat waves hit.
With La Jolla shores packed with visitors, crowds have spilled north to Black's Beach. But accessing the beach is not easy. The most popular way down is a steep, narrow, and rugged path called Citizens Trail. Today's heat has only added to the trail's danger, as even seasoned hikers struggle with the climb.
I used to be a fitness trainer, and I definitely think that unless you're in tip-top shape, then you shouldn't be out here in this heat because you have a higher chance of having heat stroke.
It's 4 o'clock. At Black's Beach, the low angle of the sun against the vertical bluffs has pushed the temperature closer to 100 degrees. Veteran lifeguard Mark Korch is on duty today.
I was heading up Citizens Trail to do a tower turnover when I came across an individual that was looking like he was about to pass out, and he said that he was nauseous and he had blurred vision. I took his pulse, he had a very rapid pulse. So he's exhibiting all the classic signs of heat exhaustion, which will escalate very fast into heat stroke. It could result in death.
Dispatch, we have a male suffering from heat exhaustion on Citizens Trail, Black's Beach, requesting paramedics.
I was here at La Jolla Shores, and we got a report from our lifeguard up at Black's Beach, and the decision is to start a cliff rescue response.
And 31 Sam for a 5-up, it's going to be a 235-pound male. This isn't going to be a technical cliff rescue, right?
Copy that.
Back at Black's Beach, the man's symptoms worsen. He begins to slip in and out of consciousness. 7 minutes later, Cranston arrives at the scene. He is joined by paramedics.
We want to get him out of here as fast and as safely as possible. So we're going to need a stretcher, a harness to tie around the patient, and then our tie-ins to tie the person inside the stretcher.
39 years old, he's complaining of nausea, a headache, dizziness, blurred vision. He had a pulse of over 100.
Hey guys, we're going to put a harness on him around you guys so we can tie him into the litter.
When you have an individual that's over 200 pounds, and then you have the sandstone brittle cliffs, it can pose another danger to the victim if you don't do it right.
So we're going to tie him in there nice and tight so he can't move around at all, and that's going to give our best chance of success at getting this guy up without us falling, without dropping the stretcher, without tipping him out. So we're going to have you lying here, feet down that end, head up this end. We're going to tie you in so you're not slipping all over while we're walking. There's going to be 6 of us doing the carrying, and that's about as many people as we can fit on the stretcher. We're going to try and distribute this weight as evenly as possible amongst the rescuers, and we're going to carry them out.
With the victim secure, lifeguards and medics successfully complete the extraction and prepare to transport him to the hospital.
He needs to have an IV, he needs to get some fluids replenished in his body, and he does need to be checked out by a physician.
Dispatch from 31 Sam. We're code 4 for lifeguards at this time.
We'd like to try and recommend people to bring a lot of water to the beach. This is a desert, California, and it's weather patterns like this that really make it feel like a desert. So stay hydrated, that's my best advice.
In Torrey Pines State Reserve, the Santa Ana winds have created dry conditions, raising the threat of wildfires and putting lifeguards on high alert. Veteran peace officer Ed Vadroska is making a routine patrol through the state park when he's called into action.
Responding to one of our park aides who's called for dealing with 2 uncooperative park visitors.
2 young men have been reported breaking several park laws.
There they are. I see them in the distance there. I see their little heads. Hi there. Hi guys, come on over here, let's talk for a second.
Ed arrives on scene. 2 young men were discovered off trail. They're suspected of smoking in a restricted no-fire area.
So here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna be honest with you and you're gonna be honest with me. And I'll work with you if you work with me, okay? How old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 18. 19, 18? Why don't you tell me why I'm talking to you?
We went off trail.
And?
And we were hanging out.
And?
We were accused of smoking.
Yeah, we were accused of smoking.
Mm-hmm. Were you smoking?
Yes, sir.
This is where the honesty part that I told you I'm gonna work with you if you're honest with me. Didn't I say that? Now, let's ask again. Were you smoking dope?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were, but you weren't?
Yeah.
So if this thing that I'm smelling off you, that's not marijuana smoke?
That's him.
100% him, huh?
I smoked earlier in the day, though.
You got anything in your pockets?
I have my weed.
How much do you have with you?
Probably a couple grams.
Why don't you put what you have on the hood of the car, please?
My medical marijuana.
You have medical cards.
The two young men present Vedroska with medical marijuana cards. California law allows people with certain illnesses to legally purchase marijuana with a prescription. This presents Vedroska and the park ranger with a conundrum.
They've got certificates for marijuana smoking.
If you have one of those, you're allowed to have it in your home or when you're transporting it to and from your home.
Possession of marijuana outside of his home, could write it for that. We have, he's off trail, but I didn't see it, nor did you. They're smoking off trail, didn't see that either. What do you want to do?
With no witnesses, Ed is in a tough situation and must decide the best disciplinary action.
When we have a park like this with very, very dry brush, we can't have you smoking at all. Okay. We also can't have you off trail.
Okay.
I'm going to try a different tact here.
Okay.
One, you can smoke marijuana with this certificate in the comfort of your own home. You can't come outside into a state park and smoke. I'm going to talk and I want you to listen. If you talk, we're going to go down a wrong path here, okay? I gave you the option to be honest with me, okay? All right, and you were honest with me, and I'm going to give you credit for that, all right? Okay. So here's what we're going to do, man. We're going to try a moral approach here. I'm going to ask you to take what I say to heart. You're hiking off trail. You're not respecting the laws of the land. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you guys both a verbal warning.
Okay.
In the hopes that it does you some good. Because people cut me a break when I was young too.
Okay.
But I want you to make me believe that it's going to do some good.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Can you promise me that it's going to do some good and you guys will do a little soul searching?
We're going to
Don't go through this again, okay?
I wouldn't let.
Come back on different terms.
On this edition of Lifeguard,
things that happen here happen really fast.
a surfer is in trouble at the Wedge.
Wedge is a very particular wave. It's one of the most powerful waves easily in the world. If you don't really know what's going on, it can get disastrous really quick.
And
they have a Codex at El Capitan Reservoir.
The golden hour is what we give people that submerge underwater.
The visibility is not good.
Where is this person? How can we find him? And let's try to find him quickly and efficiently.
And later.
By the time I got to the water, one swimmer had already gotten drug away from the group, and the other two were on their way out. She was in distress. She was really disoriented. She was very panicked. She was very scared.
The Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline.
It's just really us versus nature.
And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, 3. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are going to happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. Southern California, the birthplace of American surf culture, and home to some of the most iconic surf spots in the world, like Wind and Sea, Huntington Beach Pier, and Black's Beach. But the most famous surf break in the region is 1 mile south of the Newport Beach Pier. Welcome to the Wedge.
The waves at Newport Beach depend on the weather that has occurred over the Pacific Ocean in the last couple days. What makes the Wedge special is the fact that there is a structure that protrudes to the water. When waves come in at a particular angle, and hit that jetty, they can make a wave that is bigger than the two just added together.
The fact of the matter is there's no other wave like this in the world. Wedge is a very particular wave, and it only exists because of a combination of natural factors and human-engineered factors.
Combined with a shallow shore break, this is the most dangerous surf spot around. Today, the Wedge is pumping. 20-foot faces and a strong backwash keep lifeguards on high alert. Only seasoned guards are assigned to the Wedge. Veteran lifeguard Brandon Butler notices a swimmer in trouble 20 yards from shore.
This larger set had just came through, more like 15 to 18 foot faces, and he was kind of in the inside. He started to swim, which actually, hindered him from getting in, because once he left his feet, he was getting sucked out.
The backwash rolls the victim in waist-deep water, keeping him off his feet.
Hey, go! Go!
I really didn't have time to think. Here at the Wedge, these rescues and things that happen here happen really fast. And if you don't really know what's going on, it can get disastrous really quick.
The victim is being dragged out toward the impact zone. As Butler approaches, a local body surfer swims over to help.
A lot of water was moving around, so he was getting sucked back into that larger peak.
5343, outside rescues at Wedge.
A Newport Beach rescue boat hears the call and responds from inside the harbor. Piloting the boat is veteran lifeguard Chip Going.
The rescues that we do go on, they're generally the real critical rescues. They truly are the life and death type situations where if we're not there, somebody really might die.
Meanwhile, Butler and the victim are being sucked in the backwash. They're stuck in only 8 feet of water, and the immense surf is threatening to slam them on the bottom.
I got to him and got him away from the peak as fast as I could.
Sea-Watch arrives on the edge of the breakers, but the surf prevents them from getting any closer. 50 yards away from the boat, Butler finds himself staring up at the 18-foot wave.
So once you have someone else's lives in your hand and you have another person on your buoy and you're going up bigger waves like that, it does get, a little more challenging because you're pulling a lot of weight.
Just coming off the boat, take it back in.
Forward! Hold on, Matt, try the buoy, go! He was actually fine. We only let experienced people in the water, but even those experienced people do sometimes get into trouble. So he was fine. He was a little flustered after it, of course. He was in a spot that he didn't think he was going to be in when he got in the water, but he did fine. People do die on days like that, and it can be extremely dangerous here at the Wedge. On days like that, you just need to stay out of the water.
Even after the close call, surfers, boogie boarders, and body surfers continue to challenge the Wedge. But with today's conditions, it's not a matter if someone will get hurt. It's a matter of when.
5323, 40-year-old male with possible dislocated shoulder at the Wedge.
Lifeguards arrive on scene to find the surfer with severe pain in his shoulder.
We sat him down onto the top of the berm, and we treated him right there. We had him hold his shoulder in a position of comfort. We stabilized him and got him out here to the medics.
Did you hit the ground?
Yeah, I just wrenched and it popped, so I think I got my upper humerus.
He was in a substantial amount of pain. He said a 9 out of 10.
Do you have any pain back here?
Can you feel fingers here?
Let's see if I can get a blood pressure through this wetsuit sleeve.
The victim is in need of a higher level of care. Before transporting him to the hospital, medics must splint his arm to prevent further injury.
We're gonna remove this.
We're gonna need support underneath, right?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
This ever happened to you before?
No, not even close. If you can put a pillow under my arm.
Okay.
Okay,
this one under. Okay. We're just gonna try to relieve the pressure.
Yes, sir.
Moving the victim's damaged limb increases his pain. The fear that he might slip into shock is now a reality.
Have you ever had morphine before?
Once.
I'm just going to give you 5 milligrams at first.
The morphine quickly kicks in, but the victim's pain remains high.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt, where would you say you are right now?
I was at a 9.
You're at a 9, so we've only gone down 1.
So far.
All right.
The surfer is now stable. Lifeguards opt to move him off the beach to the local hospital.
This is really shallow, it's a really dangerous place, and that's the result is we have injuries here routinely. And luckily it wasn't his neck, it was just his shoulder, his dislocation. He'll recover and he'll be back out here.
This is Mission Beach, San Diego, one of the most popular beaches in California. Today, a high-pressure system from the north is creating perfect weather, which is drawing massive crowds.
We're a 24-hour service, 365 days a year, and the one thing that I've noticed is that it's really hard to predict when something's going to happen.
Over 300 lifeguards work during the peak season, responding to ocean rescues, boat rescues, cliff rescues, and medical aids. But sometimes their reach goes even farther.
Codex, they have a codex at El Capitan Reservoir. We've got a ranger on the line, formatting the call.
The urgent call has come from park rangers at El Capitan Reservoir. Located 30 miles inland from San Diego, the popular reservoir includes a lake for fishermen and boaters.
The ranger divers had responded. That is their jurisdiction. They had limited resources, limited personnel, so they requested mutual aid.
We have one victim, male, 6'0", and Ranger Ignacio said that he had a couple divers in the water.
When we received that initial call, my job is to try to coordinate a response and frankly, to try to give that person on the other end the best chance for survival.
It looks like I'll be the first one in, so it sounds like we're going to have 2 on scene and 5 San Diego Lifeguard dive team members.
Lifeguard Charlie Knight is on patrol when he hears the call.
It was definitely a call that, as a lifeguard servers, we're not used to receiving. However, we were prepared for it, and I had already worked out there previously as a ranger diver, so I knew the area.
Copter 2, would you be available to provide transport to 2 dive team members and their gear out to El Cap Reservoir? Affirm. Where would you like to meet, Quivera? Affirm. We'll have the LZ set up at the turning circle at Quivera. En route.
Meanwhile, at Lifeguard headquarters, San Diego dive team members prepare for Copter 2's arrival.
We're going to send what we can send, which is 6 divers. We're going to send all their complement of equipment, all of the buoys necessary to try to mark specific areas, any underwater investigative equipment we need, and then all of their personal equipment that they need.
Copter 2, this is Lifeguard Dispatch. Do you have an ETA?
Our ultimate objective is to try to get people there quickly and safely, and then attempt to make a recovery where we can try to save that person's life.
Lifeguard Dispatch, Copter 2, landing Quivera.
Dispatch copies, Copter 2.
Lifeguard Lieutenant Nick Lerma and Lifeguard Charlie Knight are en route to El Capitan Reservoir by land.
2 copies. We're now back in the aircraft, but you can show us lifting Quivera en route.
In the air, 4 San Diego rescue divers join them in a race against time to find the missing swimmer.
Dispatch from Copter 2, landing at El Cap Reservoir.
The dive team lands, unloads, and prepares their gear.
Grab that back right there. If you can take that tank down, I appreciate it. Down to the dock.
With all resources present, Lieutenant Lerma takes command.
When we first get on scene, there's a flood of people that want to tell us what happened. And in addition to that, because the search area is just so immense, our ultimate objective is where is this person, and let's try to find him quickly and efficiently.
Lieutenant Lerma and representatives from the Park Service and local law enforcement begin to share information.
She did a sweep and then pushing toward shore. Take a look at the area right through there, and we still haven't located.
In this instance, he learns that 51-year-old Milt Isaac was boating with family and friends when he jumped into the lake for a swim. His fiancée looked away for a moment. When she turned back, he was gone.
Probably going to need to take her back there, otherwise, just to put her right back on the spot. So we take the witness, we bring her back on our boat, we try to get as much information as possible, we bring her to where she thinks the last location was, and we really try to pinpoint where that person might be. Information is key.
With the man's estimated last location now known, lifeguards can begin their search. This is Huntington State Beach. This 2-mile stretch of sand is often confused with its more famous northern neighbor, Huntington City Beach. However, this popular state park has many of its own unique qualities. While it boasts the same access to swimming, surfing, and sunbathing, it also provides a sanctuary for many species of endangered birds. Lifeguard supervisor Jeff David has been patrolling the waters of Huntington State Beach for over a decade.
My name is Jeff David, and I've been working at Huntington Beach since 2002. I kind of got the public safety emergency response bug when I was younger, and it's kind of hard to get out of your blood once you have it.
Huntington 1075. He's reporting they dropped him off at 6.
You want to take her over there to get her friend? Okay, thanks. I started lifeguarding when I was 18 years old at Folsom Lake up in Sacramento. I kept lifeguarding through college, and then when I got out of college, I went to paramedic school, and I was a paramedic for 4 years.
But something was missing, and that's when Jeff headed back to the beach.
I really like the diversity. I really like how every day is a different day, and that's one of the things that you don't get in a lot of jobs. But in lifeguarding, the conditions are different every day, the crowds are different every day. You show up to work, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Like all lifeguards, he's checked the weather before going on duty.
Today, the surf is generated by Hurricane Elena. It's off the coast of Baja, California. And this beach faces south, so we are getting all those waves from this hurricane to the south of us.
Over 1,200 miles away, Elena is a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds of 80 miles per hour.
It's generating a big storm swell. So we're gonna have a lot of water coming on to the beach, and we have a lot of water moving out. So we're gonna have big rip currents today. There's a lot of people here. It's kind of the perfect storm in lifeguarding.
At Tower 4, lifeguard Matt Harrington is also keeping a close eye on the rough surf.
When the rip currents open up, they start really quickly. As soon as you see it begin forming up, you need to get out there, because if you wait to see if it is going to be a rip current and it is going to pull people out, you're already way too late and they could be in trouble.
It's not long before Matt spots a group of swimmers caught in a newly formed rip current.
By the time I got to the water, one swimmer had already gotten dragged away from the group, and the other two were on their way out. The side current was super strong, pulled them along the shore, so it just kept sweeping them down the beach. The current was moving so fast that I had to swim and catch up with the victim.
Jeff David is now at Tower 4 to cover for Harrington. He radios to a rescue boat in case the victim is pulled out any farther.
30-1075. I'm covering Tower 4 right now.
10-4, contact Tower 4.
Meanwhile, lifeguard Harrington is still fighting his way through the crashing surf toward the girl.
It's hard to keep your eye on them because there's so much water moving around, there's so many waves, and especially with a current like this, you're literally sprinting trying for their life.
Now, 50 yards offshore, Matt closes in on the drowning girl. Her head is barely above water.
She was in distress. She was really disoriented. She was very panicked. She was very scared.
In fact, the girl is so disoriented, she's unaware he is a lifeguard.
All she knew is I had something to float on, so she immediately grabbed the buoy. After that, she finally started calming down, then I could talk to her and made sure that she got in safely.
Before I knew it, I was swimming and I couldn't swim. I was scared. I just kept going under because I knew it was pulling me in, but I knew it was already too late, and before I knew it, I couldn't breathe anymore. I mean, when they say you're scared for your life sometimes, I figured that out today.
It's so strong today, I think all of us have underestimated it. The good thing was he got there in time. She was rescued. That's our overall goal. He did exactly what he was trained to do.
Codex, they have a Codex at El Capitan Reservoir. We've got a ranger on the line, formatting the call.
A 51-year-old man is missing and is feared drowned in El Capitan Reservoir. San Diego lifeguards have responded to the inland lake to begin a deep water search. If they find him within the golden hour, there's still a chance of resuscitation.
The golden hour is what we give people that submerge underwater. They got 60 minutes, we think, of a viable response that we can give them. That if we do find them within that golden hour, that we can revive them and bring them back to life.
Lifeguard Lieutenant Nick Lerma is incident commander.
When we receive that initial call, our ultimate objective is to try to get people there, then attempt to make a recovery where we can try to save that person's life. We employed several different search patterns. One is just a basic line search.
What we have called on the dive team is a San Diego sweep, where we lay a stationary line on the bottom of the lake. It's 100 yards long. So a team of divers then would traverse that in a perpendicular fashion from one end of the line to the other, and then we flip over and we come back on the other side of the line. It's great because you know exactly where you need to go, point A to point B and back again.
The underwater layout of this lake was very challenging. There's rocks, big boulders, there's crevices, there's trees, so it really is challenging, and the divers really had to be careful and wary.
I've dove in that lake before, and I know that the visibility is not good. It's not even half as good as the ocean. It's nearly impossible to see anything. It's extremely murky.
Despite an exhaustive search, divers are unable to find the missing man. As daylight fades, a difficult decision must be made.
We searched for about an hour and a half, and then were inhibited by the lack of light. The sun went down, we were unable to search any longer.
Terminating dive operations for the day, resuming at 0600 tomorrow.
What was a rescue mission has now become a recovery. The 3-day search was conducted by personnel from 10 federal, state, and local agencies. On the 3rd day, divers recovered the body of 51-year-old Milt Eisen.
It's something that we really pride ourselves on, to try to find that person so we can give that person's body back to the family and they can move on with their life. We were happy that we were able to do that.
1 week after the drowning, the victim's family and friends check in with Nick Lerma and the other lifeguards.
I will be forever grateful to the whole team that put in this effort to first try and rescue my brother, and later on, when hope was out, to find him so that we could have peace.
Fortunately, we're able to see him again, and for lack of better words, pay our respects and enjoy his company one more time.
Milt won't be with us right now if not for them. I am a witness how hard they had worked. They put their lives at risk just to find him, and I know how hard it is for them, and I just, I cannot thank them enough for what they had done for Milt.
The sun is setting on Mission Beach, California, and Sergeant Rick Strobel is making his last patrol.
Mission Beach to 2 Sam. It's going to be a 4-year-old Hispanic male. He had a red ball, last seen 30 minutes ago at the water's edge near Tower 13.
Lifeguard Cortland Carroll is staffing Tower 13.
I had a distressed parent come up to my tower with his daughter. He was Spanish speaking. The first thing you do is, tell the parent that everything's going to be all right, calm him down. Then you have to get his information. You want to know where the kid was last seen.
Tower 13 is known for its deadly rip currents. Strobel confirms a description of 4-year-old Angel and instructs Mission Beach headquarters to make an announcement.
Por favor, contacta la salvavidas más cerca. Gracias.
Meanwhile, there's bad news back at Tower 13. A beachgoer who heard the announcement has found Angel's ball floating at the water's edge.
It was about 7 o'clock when we really started rolling on this. Once you start moving into the darkness, it just elevates it to another level of concern.
Up and down Mission Beach, lifeguards are scanning the sand and the water for any sign of the boy. The San Diego police have joined the search.
Sam from South Mission. We have the Mission Juvenile here at South Mission.
The 4-year-old has spent 45 minutes wandering the beach alone.
I was up in the South Mission Beach Lifeguard Station, and an assistant came downstairs and reported that they had a missing juvenile. He was a little afraid, kind of crying a little bit. His dad raced over and just grabbed him out of the car, didn't even bother opening the door at all, and just drug him out of the car as fast as he could. It felt really good to return a missing juvenile back to his dad.
Estoy muy agradecido con los guardacostas porque me ayudaron a encontrar a mi niño, y mi niña es todo para mí. Thank you.
Always makes you nervous. You don't want to have that one child, the first one that you didn't find.
on this edition of Lifeguard.
Mission Beach Rescue West, bumping up to Coast Green.
The rip current at Mission Beach puts lifeguard training to the test.
They're just scared beyond belief and they're in danger and they're trying as much as they can to help themselves, yet they can't.
And
further information was that she'd taken a full bottle of prescription medication.
I'm with the husband, very concerned.
Full patrol at Dyke Rock area, return negative. There's no one out here.
Plus,
requesting paramedics for a 7-year-old male with a back injury from a fall.
If we don't do everything right, he may never walk again.
the Lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline.
It's just really us versus nature.
And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, the weather dictates the type of day that you're going to have.
Shark sighting, clear the water. I need medics to Ski Beach Dock and other units.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
1, 2, 3, 4. When you get this many people coming to the beach, things are going to happen.
Hey, you all right, buddy? You there?
They are there to save you.
He told me to grab the buoy. He was literally right there.
They are there to lifeguard. This is Mission Beach, California. With over 2.5 million visitors per summer, it is one of America's busiest beaches.
The weather affects us every single day. It just kind of provides us with a theme and a tempo. So we know that when it's sunny and the water's warm and there's surf, we're going to be really busy. We know that when the wind comes and blows here, we're going to get a different type of rescue. So really, the weather plays a huge part in what we're going to actually be required to do for any day.
As the onshore breeze creates a large swell, a massive rip current has just opened up in front of Tower 13. From the main tower, San Diego lifeguard Ashley Marino observes the rip current starting to take shape.
The rip started pulling a little bit, and everyone that was on the edge from the south started to get pulled in. And then everyone that was on the edge at the north started to get pulled in as well.
Connor Robbins, one of 2 lifeguards staffing Tower 13 today, is first to respond.
I kind of saw things progressing quickly, so right then that was kind of a red flag.
Mission 13, second guard in.
Lifeguard Joe Gatos is the only guard left at Tower 13. He spots 2 young children struggling to stay afloat.
They're just scared beyond belief and they're in danger and they're trying as much as they can to help themselves, yet they can't. And they have that fear in their eye.
Joe reaches the first child, but the second is drifting away.
And then he spins around and he just looks at me and he's just climbing the ladder, as we call it, you know, not really swimming very well at all.
Joe approaches the young boy just as he disappears underwater.
He'd gotten swept off his feet. What I would do, I just kind of spun around, put my arm around him, and they little cross-chest carry we call it, and I put my arm in his armpit and just start kicking him in.
The Tower 13 rip is just getting stronger, and more people are pulled into its grasp.
We had both of our Tower 13 guards in, and at that time, I requested our Utility 2 vehicle.
Utility 2, can you head to Tower 13? Jet 0, can I get you to head to Tower 13 as well?
Jet 0, copy. En route.
The lifeguards were in their stations, and they started passing by running 2 by 2. And maybe you could count 6 to 8 lifeguards.
Lifeguard Marcos Pimentel rushes to assist at Tower 13.
We got on scene. There was about already 4 guards in the water. So I went in, I got 2, brought them in, and I went back to got another one.
The situation continues to escalate. Normal rip current speeds range from 1 to 2 feet per second. This current is twice as strong, challenging even the most experienced swimmers.
I was trying to get over there as fast as I could, but the water kept pulling me back.
This is now a mass rescue. Lifeguard Lieutenant Nick Lerma arrives at Tower 13 and takes over as incident commander.
Big rip current, and all that water is moving this way. We got caught right in the hole, they can't swim. The first thing that I want to do when I get on scene is organize our existing personnel.
With more than 10 lifeguards in the water, Lerma must make sure that the beaches to the north and south are still protected.
We had South Mission Beach move up. We had Pacific Beach move down just to make sure if something else happened, that we were ready for that.
And at that point, I think we had about 10 rescues. Then the rip current opened up more, and about 10 more people went into the hole.
Requesting a rescue boat. We're having lots of rescues at the moment.
Lifeguard Daryl Pollack arrives on Jet 2 to assist the tower guards.
As I was approaching the scene, I was thinking of all the different situations I could be presented with on scene, from somebody actively struggling for help to a person unconscious in the water.
Mission Beach Rescue West. Can you bump it up to Code 3? We have almost all our guards in.
Copy that, Rescue West.
Rescue West, piloted by Rod Messenger, is quickly on scene.
When you're outside the situation, watching from a vessel, we might be able to point something out that they might miss.
With all resources in place, lifeguards can now work together to clear the water.
Started floating across. We didn't realize they were getting pulled out until the lifeguards came and got us.
Nearly 24 swimmers are pulled from the ocean.
Mission Beach Rescue West. Looks like Jet 0 just made contact with the last two.
We are clear at Tower 13.
Obviously, I'm nervous when anything like that goes down, but I also have to have faith in all the guards that are there, that they're going to carry out the rescue.
There is no way to simulate a mass rescue. You cannot train for that. All you can do is train them up to it and then hope that when the time comes, nobody misses a rescue.
There would have been drownings if these guys weren't there, and if they weren't vigilant. It takes, the right type of mentality, the right type of attention. It's a lot of talented people.
Meanwhile, 15 miles north at remote Black's Beach, with sheer dramatic cliffs towering over the sand, it's a popular destination for sightseers, hikers, and paragliders. Sergeant John Sandmeyer has been patrolling the coast of San Diego for over 20 years and knows the area well.
Black's is sort of a location that's a wilderness within the urban area. And so it could be a refuge for people to go to get away from it all. We've got these steep 300-foot cliffs, and it offers a high-risk environment.
Sandmeyer is on a routine patrol when he gets an alarming call.
On North City West, 1145 threat at Black's Beach. RP stating that the subject's threatening to walk into the water.
Copy. Then all units associated with this missing person call, let's take this to Lifeguard Dispatch 2.
Lifeguards know any suicide call on Black's Beach is of high importance. Sandmeyer rushes down to the beach to meet Torrey Pines State Beach Lifeguard Supervisor Ed Vedroska.
54-year-old female, 5'4".
Okay, by herself?
By herself. Somehow she said she was going to come to Black's and drown herself. We'll check Sumner right now, and I'll talk to this group down here. There's UCSD divers, so we'll see if they saw anything.
We have a truck at the glider port, and we just came down here.
Okay, we have one of our officers too. He's checking Black Gold Road right now for that vehicle, and then he's going to shift over to Glider Port as well to see if they can find him there too.
If you want to go up top too.
Well, we were thinking of making a pass on the beach just to see in case he, trickled down on one of the back trails or something.
As state and city lifeguards refine their plan, more disturbing information is called in.
Further information was that she had contacted her husband and she had taken a full bottle of prescription medication with alcohol. She was claiming that she was on the beach somewhere.
And 1145 is code for attempted suicide. Lifeguards must act quickly.
We get half a dozen suicide calls just in this park alone. The helicopters overhead here looks like they're involved in the search as well.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Sandmeyer is surveying the southern end of Black's Beach.
Hey guys, we're on a lookout for a missing person, 54-year-old female that's heading down this direction. You can call 911 and let a dispatcher know that you want to talk to lifeguards. All right.
We're all kind of working together. We've got the area pretty well blanketed, and if she really is going to show up at the beach here attempting to drown herself, I think we're doing our due diligence to head her off and get her the help that she needs.
Full patrol at Dyke Rock area, return negative. There's no one out here.
A search of the beach and cliffs has been fruitless. Fortunately, the police department has located the husband, who is now with Sandmeyer.
We met with the city lifeguards, and they had the husband on scene, obviously very distraught, and the brother-in-law. So I started an interview with the husband, and we were trying to get a good assessment of the threat and if he really thought that she could actually commit suicide.
While Sandmeyer and Vadroska are with the husband, lifeguards from both San Diego and Torrey Pines State Beach continue to search for any sign of the missing woman.
We've got a search on his phone, on her phone right now.
Great.
And
I'm continually calling it, so.
Yeah, just repeatedly.
Yeah.
2 hours have passed and still no sign of the woman. The husband fears the worst when a call comes through.
Stand by, sir. I'm with her husband right now. We're with contact with San Diego Police. We're all looking for her right now. So, okay. Okay, if you stay right there, we're gonna direct police your way.
Someone's with her. She's had something to drink. She's on a street corner somewhere in Ocean Beach, and the bystander picked up her phone and called.
The victim is barely conscious. Lifeguards have no idea how she ended up 16 miles south. They quickly contact Sergeant Gleason at Ocean Beach.
We have a medical aid at Abbott Crossing Muir in Ocean Beach, and it's likely the victim from the earlier call at Blacks Beach.
Copy. I'll notify PD and I'll respond.
Sergeant Gleason and lifeguard Mike Gilmore quickly head to the scene to verify the call and the status of the missing woman.
So that's the suicide attempt gal from earlier?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, we heard told she was a fall.
A fall? This is a trip and fall injury with ETOH on board.
A firm. That was threat of
11:45 that she had self-initiated, and we were on
heightened alert and looking all over Torrey Pines for this case.
I'm with the husband, very concerned.
The medics that had showed up on scene weren't privy to the knowledge that she was a suicide attempt, but I was able to give them some information to help them in their care and treatment of the patient. They're in the loop now, and it sounds like they're going to take her to UCSD.
Copy that. That put a closure on our end. The husband had some satisfaction that he knew where she was. He could go meet her at the hospital, and basically it was a good ending to an unfortunate situation.
An hour south of Orange County, California, rests the town of La Jolla. This oceanfront village is a playground for both young and old. Its largest beach, La Jolla Shores, is a hotspot for kids looking to cool down.
It's a not so sunny Sunday morning here. We have some unusual weather patterns in this area that a lot of tourists are not quite used to. Because Southern California is very desertous, it's extremely hot inland, and the heat draws the ocean moisture. So while it can be blue skies and 100 degrees inland, the sun has not yet come out here because all this moisture in the air is being sucked inland.
Despite the marine layer and cooler temperature, La Jolla Shores is seeing a big crowd. Supervising the shores today is Lifeguard Sergeant Mike Cranston.
I'm a sergeant here for the Lifeguard service in San Diego. I've been working for the service for almost 14 years now. Originally, I'm from New Zealand, and I moved over here when I was about 20 years old with a backpack on, and I wanted to have an adventure and see the world. I came in here to Southern California and just fell in love with it. And then once I got hired as a lifeguard, it was my future was written for me.
So if you decide that you want to see Spine, then we can send him over with equipment.
From a young age, I was boogie boarding, surfing, swimming. I was getting in and out of rip currents before I even really knew what they were. And it just became second nature. Eric, it's going to be a lot of low-angle stuff before we get to the ledge, so you're going to have to feed it out pretty good. Being around this environment was always just completely natural for me. It was pretty apparent to me within a few weeks of working that this is what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to have to take my flip-flops off and go work in a regular job. So coming to work here it's not that different from how I grew up and how I've always lived.
The marine layer has refused to burn off, and the temperature is lower than normal. The cool air means less kids in the water and more kids in the park.
I had a walk-up lady that came up to the tower right here and reported to us that her child had fallen off of the jungle gym.
We arrived on scene and there was a child lying on his stomach, not really moving, and that's unusual for a child of that age, not to be moving.
Dispatch number 31, Sam, for a medical aid.
Requesting paramedics for a 7-year-old male with a back pain, possible back injury from a fall at the playground.
He just had a lot of pain, and it was in his back, or right up his spine.
How about when I touch it? Does it feel any better or does it still hurt?
It still hurts? The child is lying on his stomach with his head to the side, and eventually we're going to have to right that and put him in a better position to care for the injury. If we don't do everything right, he may never walk again.
We want to get them immobilized as quickly as possible in the event that there was some sort of spinal injury.
We're gonna make sure you don't move around. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this plastic collar and I'm gonna put it on your neck so that you don't move your neck up and down.
He's very upset. He's in pain. It's an important thing to calm the child down.
Is it gonna hurt? Sure isn't. It's not gonna hurt at all. It's just gonna sit around you just like this. And that's what it's gonna look like.
We rolled him very carefully in a straight line.
Nice and gently.
We then decide to put the Miller board underneath, which provides a hard surface, and then we package the patient up so they can't move. It's almost like a splint that you would put on a broken arm, only it's something that we do for the back. When the paramedics arrive, we give them what's called the turnover. They then hook the patient up with their equipment and make sure the patient is stabilized, and then once they feel the patient's ready to be taken to the hospital, then we move the patient to their gurney.
He was loaded into the ambulance and they took him off to one of the local hospitals. Once there, the doctors will assess him, and with any luck, he will be walking out of there this evening and they'll be going home to enjoy the rest of their weekend.
On California's state beaches, the tower guards are always watching the water. But there's another group of lifeguards behind the scenes. These are the peace officers. They're a unique cross between a buoy-carrying lifeguard and a gun-carrying police officer. Peace Officer Jeff David has been with Huntington State Beach for 10 years.
So today should be a pretty busy day for us.
42, 1098, 12. It's a 390.
Lifeguard Greg Carter was manning Tower 13 when he saw something out of the ordinary.
Multiple park visitors came up to me and told me that there's a drunk girl in the water just washing around.
Jeff David and lifeguard Marianne Lugermo make first contact.
How come you're wobbling and running around in the surf line there?
Honestly, I'm trying to find my tent.
Your tent?
Well, like, you know, like whatever it's called.
I got a call of a drunken public. Got here, there was a girl, female, rolling in the water. The number one danger is her drowning in the water. That was our first concern. The other one's just hurting herself or hurting somebody else.
Lifeguard Lugermo decides to administer a breathalyzer test.
Hold on to this until I say stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, go, go. Yeah. Woo! What did you drink before you got here? Because you blew a .25.
Whiskey.
How much whiskey did you have?
About 7 shots.
7 shots of whiskey.
It's a situation where if she was 18, we would just take her to jail and let her sober up. But when they're juveniles, they either have to go to the hospital because it's a medical issue, or we have to release them to their parents.
Jeff, I'm going to try to call the father.
The 17-year-old's father is located on the crowded beach and escorted to the scene.
Your daughter, Tiffany, right? Is in the back of my vehicle right now. Is a .25. This is the deal. We found your father. Now, if you keep cooperating, I'll release you to your father.
We hate to see people like that, to see them at their worst, kind of like that, but we do this for everyone's safety on the beach, including hers.
Located on the east end of Newport Beach's Balboa Peninsula is the Wedge. This world-famous boogie boarding and body surfing spot is known for producing waves in excess of 25 feet. Today, warm weather and perfect conditions at the Wedge have brought hundreds to ride the huge waves. However, like any precious natural resource, sometimes there's not enough to go around.
The Wedge, being the spectacle that it is, it draws a huge observer crowd down here. And for the most part, people are wanting to have a nice day, watch the surf, and be excited. Occasionally, tempers run high, and people will get into it with each other.
Get the out of here, bro! My way. What are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do?
I was on the tower, and initially I broke up the altercation when it just began. The two gentlemen had exited the water and were beginning to fight. Anytime at Wedge, when the surf gets 8 to 10 feet or larger, big egos come out, and when those egos collide into each other, we get fights on the beach and in the water. Both of them are smart enough to know that if they throw a punch at me, that I'm a peacekeeper and that they're going to go to jail for that. That's when it stopped, but then it started back up again on the back of the beach when I told them both to leave. After that small altercation was separated, the two gentlemen found each other on the back of the beach. One of them threw a punch which knocked the other guy to the ground, and he hit his head on a rock on the way down.
While lifeguard Joseph tends to the victim's bleeding head, lifeguard Bob Maripol arrives on scene and quickly radios for additional police support.
5323 requesting PD for surfer altercation behind the Wedge Tower.
When I drove up, there was a guy who was bleeding from his head. He already had a bandage from the tower guard. The tower guard was treating him.
I didn't even touch you, man. You did, homie. Yeah, you did.
My main concern at that point is to make sure there's no more fighting because we don't need anybody else getting hurt, make sure the lifeguards aren't involved.
Hey, officer, that's the guy that attacked me right there.
He had blood trickling down from the top right side of his head, down his face. His nose was bloody. He had blood coming out of his mouth and blood all over the front of his wetsuit.
With Newport Beach police now on scene, the two men involved in the altercation are separated and questioned.
And I didn't hit him, man. Other people did. I just was in between the things. I don't know what happened with each other. I was like, do something, bro. You want to, you know, you're arguing all day. Do something, bro. I'm not scared of you. Yeah. You like sock me or did something right here. And I fell on the rocks or something.
People tend to get their adrenaline pumped up and then blood starts flowing and there's only so many waves that come through. And it's a very individualized sport. You can't share a wave.
Our primary concern down here is public safety. That's in the water, on the beach, and we do whatever we need to do to make sure that people stay safe.